Assalamu alaikum. So inshallah today I'm going to take you with me and kind of show you how I go about my day-to-day routine while still trying to memorize. Today inshallah I'm going to try to get a page of memorization done while also just operating like a normal Western routine that might not be too different from yours. So inshallah it will be a benefit. But let's go.
بالبينات وبالذي قلتم فلم قتلتموهم إن كنتم صادقين.
I'm gonna go hit the gym right now, and inshallah after that I'm gonna hit to work. But for now, let's go get a workout in, and I'll take you with me.
أنفقوا مما تحبون وما تنفقوا من شيء فإن الله به عليم.
I just finished up the gym and now I'm about to go drive to work. And one quick tip I'll give you if you're on this memorizing path is try to use that time where you're commuting or whenever you're doing something just like you're just kind of in that like period of dead time where you're driving, you're walking, whatever, to try to at least revise some Quran while you're doing this, because you'd be surprised. Like I started doing this like maybe a few months back. I was actually surprised how much I ended up revising, because like honestly it could be like maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes that could add up to a few pages revised, and then later on in the day when you're more tired and stuff, that saves you a lot of time, a lot of energy, where you don't really have to revise that much anymore. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and try to do inshallah, but I'll see you there.
والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث.
So it's about the middle of the day right now, and alhamdulillah I've done some revision, but I haven't got to my memorization yet. I'm not gonna lie, like the past month or so has been really hard to memorize in general. Everyone gets into these periods where you might have a lot of things going on. You might have just started like a new job or something might happen in your personal life. And it kind of, your memorization may have been going like this, and then it just takes like a little dip. And that's where I think like the real test is like, can you actually keep with it, and are you going to fall off? Because anyone can memorize for a few days or like a few weeks, something like that. But the real goal, the real reward comes when you're memorizing for a really long period of time. So honestly, if there's anything I've learned, not just in Quran, but just in general, like you really want to systematize a lot of things in your life to the point where you're not really thinking of them, but it's still like a good habit that is kind of just on autopilot. At the end of the day, you really just are the things you do. So the things that you do every single day, eventually like over the months, the years, they're just going to compound and it's going to form who you are. So this is why like if you can just like include these small little habits into your daily life that you know are good for you, try to make them as systematized as possible. That's where you make like big transformation, in the months and years to come, inshallah. Because there's times where I look back where I'm like, wow, I actually made pretty good progress in my hifz. Even though in the moment, it doesn't really feel like it. You might just memorize like half a page, a few lines or something like that. And you might be like, is there even a point in this? But just slowly this stuff stacks together. And then when like a year passes, you're like, oh, subhanAllah, like that was actually all worth it. And this doesn't just go for hifz, but like honestly, in every good habit that you might want to introduce into your life, no matter what it is, I just advise like really starting small and to not overlook, oh, just because it's small, I'm not going to do it anymore. If you just make sure that you stay consistent with it, and then over time, you kind of add on top of it, that's where I found personally that you make like huge progress. And obviously, there's going to be days where you fall off and stuff like that, but that's honestly all just part of the process. Because if you're watching this video, it might seem like, oh, this guy's hyper productive. Looks like he's all just like linear growth. It's a good system where every day is just knocking out all the kind of the goals, the habits, or knocking out a page of Quran memorized. When in reality, it's not like that at all. Obviously, things seem much smoother online than in reality. But in general, like if you try to introduce these habits and try to just stay consistent with them, even though there's going to be tons of ups and downs, in general, like when you zoom out, it's going to be good progress, inshallah. But inshallah, for the next few hours, I'm going to actually just try to play the page that I want to memorize today on repeat, just while I'm going about my work. And inshallah, maybe when I get home, I'll try to memorize that page. And by doing this, generally, it like warms up my memory. So when I actually come to memorize it, like through reading, I tend to memorize it way faster because like the whole day, I was just listening to that page. But inshallah, I'll see you then, and I'll let you know how it went. Let's go.
إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب.
So it's actually the next day, and alhamdulillah, I actually did end up memorizing that page. And I feel like if there's any advice I can give, it would just be like, try fitting in, Quran memorization or revision, whatever, just like into your kind of daily life so it doesn't seem too difficult. Because once you make a habit, once you get comfortable with it, you'd actually be surprised. Like you can memorize much more than you think. And I remember when I started, I used to always look up like the quick hacks, the quick tips to memorize. But in reality, I just kept falling upon the same advice of people just saying, be consistent, be consistent. But I just wanted like a quick shortcut. But now that I've kind of gone through it a little bit, I can actually affirm to you like that is the real advice. You need to be consistent. And the only way of doing that is to make it kind of seamlessly enter your life. And before you get discouraged and just kick off maybe this desire of wanting to memorize, I would just let you know that like out of all the things I've did, there's nothing that really brings like a big return on the investment other than memorizing. In terms of like how good you feel, not only with what you're memorizing, how the content of what you're memorizing affects your mood, affects your mindset and stuff like that, but also just when you see yourself making progress with the Quran, it seems like, you actually do get proud of yourself. Because let's be honest, we're in a generation where it's never been easier to waste time and to waste your entire life. But I've always just thought like when you're on your deathbed, when you're looking back at your life, what's like the one thing that you'd be proud that you put forward, that you set up, that you did in your life? And I can't think of many other things other than memorizing Quran. So inshallah, this video kind of showed you how maybe you can implement memorization into your daily life with whatever you're doing. It doesn't mean you have to change your life entirely, but even just while maintaining like your general structure, you can kind of implement Quran memorization revision into your life. And before you know it, you'll make a lot of progress. And inshallah, if you want to accelerate that progress, feel free to join our school community. Inside, we'll be doing tajweed calls, feedback, or you can just ask us questions as well regarding your memorization journey. Inshallah, we could be a benefit. But inshallah, in the next video, assalamu alaikum.